Sammy Levy.
Sammy Levy.
Yeah, Sammy Levy. 22. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And my small story is I'm a New Yorker.
New Yorker.
Yeah, to the heart.
Born and raised?
Born and raised in New York. I was raised in Queens, South Jamaica. I lived there since I was 5 until I was about 18. After that, I moved to Baltimore. I started to go to school out in Baltimore. I got a scholarship to go to college.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to college at Baltimore City Community College. Nice program there. I studied business management. Unfortunately, I didn't finish, but I did start working in Papa John's while I was in Baltimore. Baltimore is a nice area, it's like poverty and then rich right across the street. It's like you could be on one side of the poorest street and then you can cross over on the next side and you're in the richest Johns Hopkins filled neighborhood. Being in Baltimore, I've seen a lot, I learned a lot. I started to, really read more books. I started to, keep to myself and not really socialize with too many people.
So you were socializing with books instead?
I started to socialize with books. People would come up to me like, yo, what are you reading? Why are you always reading? I never had no answer. I just wanted to read, stay to myself. And
it's a funny question people ask you, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
and it's not grownups, it's the kids, Kids, they see somebody reading and I guess, in this day and age, everybody's on their phone and everybody's gossiping about this and that. Nobody really has the time to take a chance out and read something, get some type of self-education,
What's one of your favorite books?
One of my favorite books.
A quote to other way.
I would say, one of my favorite books is the Isaac Asimov, The Robot Stories.
The Robot Stories?
The Robot Stories. Isaac Asimov, he's the guy who wrote the I, Robot.
Okay.
And they turned it into a film with Will Smith. He wrote a lot of good books, white Jewish guy. I was never really into books until I started reading his...
How do you think it's made a difference for you versus if you didn't read? How would you handle life challenges?
If I never read, I would...
Confrontations, how would you handle?
I would still be stuck in the same thought process of, just still thinking the same way, not really growing, When you're reading, you expand your vocabulary and you expand your perspective on life and how you treat and how you interact with people. Is something I was missing for a long time, and you never really start doing something, you never start changing until you start seeing that you're doing the same thing, you're going into the same stuff, the same cycle. I wanted to just stray away from trying to be cool, trying to fit in school. I just wanted to be myself and just do my own thing, stay away from all of that other stuff.
How would you describe Harlem now, man? How old are you?
22.
How would you describe Harlem now, Sammy?
Harlem now? Harlem is busy. It's getting more and more diverse.
How was it when you... Is that good, bad, or...
It's good, it's like the more diversity, the more socially, culturally conscious people become. We interact with not just whites and blacks, there's Asians, there's Hispanics, there's all types of races. There's just, one big melting pot of Harlem,
How do your friends describe you, man?
Friends? I got a few friends, I hang out. I like to hang out in Queens a lot, my hometown, South Side.
Okay.
I like to hang out there, because I know the area. I just like that environment of, just being back where I'm from. But, traveling is something that I love to do. I love to, go different places and interact with different people and learn and just take as much knowledge as I can from interacting with so many different people.
What are you doing now in New York?
Now I'm in New York. I'm just working, trying to get back in school. working.
Is that hard because you're working and trying to go to school? How's that?
It's like you gotta balance it. You know, it's like you gotta make time for work. I work 2 jobs now. You know, I gotta make time for that and then take time out for school. It's like when I first started going to school, it was hard to balance. You know, I wake up early, then at nighttime I go to sleep late. I can't make it to class because I go to sleep late. It's just the balance, you know. Just everybody has to find that balance, you know.
Where you see your future going? You bright about your future? Optimistic about your future?
My future, I see myself possibly doing something along the lines of my dad does. He owns his own construction company and investment business, so I want to do something along those lines, like, you know, go into real estate, start out with some type of capital, get some houses, you know, fix them up, and, you know, rent them out.
Harlem, huh?
Yeah, Harlem, man. Everybody's hustling in Harlem, man. That's one thing I love about New York. You know, when I ask people what's so special about New York, everybody always mentions, you know, New York is just where it's at. You know, New York is the it place. New York is like the coolest city to live in. And, you know, people from outside looking in, they just, I guess it's this dream that they see about New York. All of the stories, all of the things they see on TV. Sometimes when people come to New York, they see that what they see on the TV is not, you know, what the real New York is. You know?
Any advice you give to your fellow peers, man? Young people, just not even preaching, but it's...
Advice that I would give to the younger generation or people just that are my peers, I would always tell them to be true to themselves, you know? Never stray away from the little voice in your head that's telling you to do right, you know? Never, you know, just do something to be down. Do it because you genuinely want to do something, you know? Be who you are. Don't try to put up a front. Just be real to yourself. If you're always true to yourself, you're true to the people around you, you know?
Last question. What book would you recommend a young person read who hasn't been reading? What book they should definitely grab?
I'll give you 2 books.
2 books.
One book that people should definitely read is The 48 Laws of Power. That's one book that I read. And another book, you know, people have their own religious beliefs or whatever the case, but I think that people should read the Bible just for the literature, the content inside of it, you know, the message that's inside of it. You know, you don't have to be a Christian or a Muslim, you know, just read what the words are saying, you know?
Yeah.
If it makes sense to you, you live with it. If it doesn't, you just read it and let it fly, you know?
What's your name again?
Sammy Levy. That's my story.